years ago, I was enjoying coffee with a couple of people from DVCC, one who was a student at the time at Brandywine, Penn State, across the street from the church, and another was someone visiting from that student from out of state, actually lived in California. And I was sharing how I had a desire to do some more teaching beyond what I was doing in the pulpit on Sundays and the messages, and how I would like to consider maybe teaching a class at the church, maybe before church. And I was just picking their brain a little bit about what might work for them. And the individual who was from California said, well, if you do that, would you please record those teachings so that I can hear them? And I thought about that, and as I was driving away from the meeting, all of a sudden I had the thought and the realization, do a podcast. Not a new thought, but for this guy who's a little bit up in years, the podcast idea was kind of new. And beyond that, I knew that I had a son who had his own entertainment company and who could actually produce a podcast. And so that's how Footnotes for Faith got started. It got started by a desire to get some more teaching out there. It started as a desire to be able to provide some more information, material about Scripture and the Christian life in a way that others could access. And so a couple years now later, we have probably over 80 episodes of Footnotes for Faith. You can access it on any of the apps in which you get podcasts. I greatly enjoy doing them. I call it Footnotes for Faith because often in the episodes I talk about things that I don't always have space in a message on Sunday morning to talk about. And I take questions from listeners. I hit different topics. Each week is kind of a standalone topic, so you can go onto the Footnotes for Faith website or on the podcast, and you can find an episode of a topic that you're interested in. You can send in a topic that you would like us to cover. And so I really, really enjoy it, and I have found that it has been helpful to others. Each podcast is about 20 minutes long. I try to keep them fairly brief so that it isn't a great investment of time on the part of those that are listening. And so each week during the services here, you'll see information on the Footnotes for Faith podcasts, and I would be very, very honored if you would choose to listen to Footnotes for Faith.